my dear friends, welcome back here to my world of fragrance, the place where we talk exclusively about fragrance day in and day out. Thank you for joining me. So I've been dying to do this video since forever, like pretty much the beginning of my channel starting here on YouTube, because Tuberose, I feel like, is a note in fragrance that is just so important. It's such a powerful note that is quite polarizing. Not too long ago, I just could not stand the scent of Tuberose. It was so jarring to me, and it always stood out like a sore thumb in every type of composition. So I have since then learned to love the Tuberose, and I hope that those of you who do not enjoy Tuberose will give it a chance with some of these fragrances. So everyone knows that the grande dame of Tuberose is Fracas by Robert Piguet, released in 1948, and I am not quite there yet. I'm not quite ready to wear Fracas. So these are Tuberose fragrances that I call Tuberose with interest. I like pretty much every note with interest, like with other things playing along, to make the scent more complex, more interesting, right? With interest. So the one that really started all of this for me is Serge Lutens' Tuberose Criminelle. Look at this large, well, very long bottle. I mean, it is a super femme fatale fragrance, if you ask me. And this is a definite unisex fragrance. So gentlemen, do not be afraid to try this. A heavily camphorous tuberose. I had never ever experienced tuberose in this way before, and this has actually inspired some other fragrances or some other fragrance brands to kind of unleash and explore different ways of using the tuberose. So this was created by Christopher Sheldrake, the absolute legend, and I'm a huge fan of Serge's work. So it's an EDP concentration, I believe. Yep, eau de parfum. It lasts absolute ages. On clothing, I can have this lasting for days. So for me, this is absolutely worth every penny. I adore Tuberose Criminelle, and this is one that also gets lots of praise from my other half, so that's always a good thing. So the tuberose blossoms at night, as you may know. This is a night blossoming flower, which is also why this is such an interesting floral. Like, honestly, I'm just fascinated by the tuberose as a whole. So moving on to, this is one that sticks to the theme of tuberose with interest. This is absolutely an interesting tuberose. It is Tuberose number 3, and it's called Animale. So it's an animalic tuberose fragrance. Can you just imagine? In the winter time, right now in the cold, this works absolutely fabulously. So does the other one, Tuberose Criminelle. But this one was actually recommended to me by Fragrance Journey 01 over here on Instagram. He's called Fragrance Journey 01, but really he should be called Fragrance Journey 100, because his game is on point. If you really want interesting, out of the ordinary fragrances, then go check him out. So this I just adore. From the very first scent, the very first spray of this fragrance, I was just enamored. My only problem with this is that it dies down very, very quickly. It becomes a very close to the skin scent after only a few hours, but then I have to respray. This is one that I had to have in my collection. I could not stay away from it. So in the opening, there's Neroli and Kumquat with the tuberose, but this is, dominated by the tuberose throughout. And then you also have Immortelle in the base as this fragrance dries down. Immortelle is extremely difficult to describe. It is a note that is used in very complex compositions to add a lot of interest. It's something that basically you either love or hate. So definitely give this a go if you are looking to try a tuberose with interest. Even if you don't like tuberose, please just try some of these. I promise that your life will be all the much richer once you enjoy tuberose. The third one that I have is an absolute tuberose with interest, but it is an airy, breezy tuberose with interest, if you catch my drift. This is from Acqua dos Açores. It's a Portuguese brand, and basically their fragrances, they have two, are inspired by the island life, so the experience of being on the island. So you can almost feel a bush of tuberoses with this fragrance, and then you also feel the sea breeze at the same time. It really is an interesting composition. This one I just go through like water. I mean, this bottle is not that old at all, but I can just like spray this whenever, wherever, and it's a tuberose that at the same time freshens me up. I feel refreshed. It's not a citric tuberose in that sense, but it is a tuberose that has a little help from jasmine, a little bit of orange blossom. So you get this outdoorsy bushel of white flowers, and I just absolutely love it. I think that it's one that people who are looking for a tuberose to try to get into that stage, as I've been talking about, would really enjoy. And I think that it's also reasonably priced, so I will leave the details below. In the easygoing category of tuberose, we go to the easygoing brand, which is Diptyque. If you want easygoing tuberose, you go for Dosan by Diptyque. If you want easygoing oud, you go for Oud Palau. You know, they have all of the easygoing answers for everything, and yet it's all characteristic and in their cool styles. So I have Dosan, of course. I have a big bottle of this one, and it is definitely a unisex tuberose. This is breezy. It's a lot more watered down than some of the other tuberoses that I mentioned. So it's one that you can also spray more carefreely. It's warm, and it has this picture of like some sort of bay. It actually looks like it's Vietnam. So it gives you that very nice vibe of being in a warm climate, and I think that this works great in the summertime. I wear this a lot. So yes, there you go. The next one is a more recent purchase for me because I have ventured into the deeper tuberoses. So this is a deeper one from Perris, Monte Carlo, Tuberose Absolue, and all of their fragrances. Honestly, I think that this is one of those houses where I just want to have all of the fragrances that they produce, like others like Mas Milano and Serge. You know, I get my little obsessions, but I try to hold back because I'm not a collector and I only want to have what I can wear. Anyways, I digress. This one opens up with a blast of lavender and a little bit of spiciness as well. So this is a really interesting one. I just feel like this is one of those power tuberose fragrances. Although it is a tuberose with interest as well, it has some other supporting notes. It is a power fragrance. If you're trying to make a statement in general, tuberose is a statement flower. You get some gardenia with this fragrance. Again, a little bit of jasmine. Jasmine always goes well with tuberose to, you know, sweeten it up and add that little extraness to it. This is another one that is absolutely unisex. Absolutely. Tuberose Absolue. Now we have a tuberose fragrance that is for less of a power seeker. I like wearing power fragrances. I like power dressing. I'm a power person, but if you are less that kind of personality, want to be a little bit more pared down, elegant, you know, subtly elegant, not so bam in your face, then this one by Creed Fleurissimo is actually one of the fragrances that also helped me venture into tuberose. This was Grace Kelly's wedding scent. It was supposed to, you know, help accentuate the scent of her floral bouquet that also included some tuberose, I assume. So this is a white floral bouquet where tuberose plays a role as well. Considering this is a fragrance from 1956, I feel like this really does stand the test of time. It smells classy, but not necessarily vintage. It just has this powdery quality that makes it very clean, but also, okay, you kind of smell like money, right? So this has some violet in it to add that powderiness, along with some iris. You have a little bit of rose as well. And then there's ambergris in the dry down, which for me, a base of ambergris for me is always just heaven. So try this out as well, unisex. Please, boys and girls, men and women, everyone, just wear what you want. And especially with these, try them. Since tuberose is also nicknamed the narcotic flower because it is so addictive, and I absolutely have sensed that now that I am enjoying tuberose so much as I am. Narcotics, cocaine. And this one was also a recommendation from Fragrance Journey 01. This is a man that rocks tuberose fragrances. He's got so much swag. So Cocaïne I tried recently, and I must have this one. Maybe I'm just reading too far into the name of it being cocaine, but I definitely sense the grind, the texture of a pill that's been smashed up, a tuberose pill that's been smashed up. This smells kind of synthetic-y as well, because it has that strange, odd consistency to it, but it is utterly, utterly addictive. On a well-dressed person, like, I think this fragrance could be an absolute winner. The only thing is, I think that I prefer the beginning and middle stages of the fragrance more than the actual dry down. So this is another one where, like Tuberose Animale, I would respray to get back to that stage of the fragrance evolution. So I hope that you enjoyed this video on tuberose fragrances with interest. These are some of my absolute favorite tuberose fragrances. I have searched high and low for each and every one of them. So I really hope that you value me sharing this, and I will see you in my next video.